we have a couple new toys. Another stop at Hobby Lobby. Cannot resist going in there and not buying something. I was having problems when I'm sculpting the helmets, making sure that I could turn it around and not tear up any detail, worrying about bumping into things or dropping it. So I was looking for Lazy Susan or a turntable, and just happened to walk down the cake decorating aisle. $13. Cake turntable. Now we just have to figure out how to attach our lifecast or wigform, whatever you want to call it, to the top of this thing. So, what better to use than Gigantor wood screws? Figure 3 of these in the bottom of this thing, it ought to hold it in place. Also picked up a brush tip artist pen in black, and I also have brown and a green. It's an Indian ink, supposed to be waterproof, permanent. Here, that would be perfect for getting into separation lines, detail areas, battle damage. Hopefully, it holds up well on the paint. I'm going to try it out for the first time with the marine helmet when I get the cast ready. But let's see if we can get this thing to work. Sharp knife is always a good thing to have in your workbench. So I'll just stuff off of here, and actually fairly sturdy. They had 2 different kinds. One of them had a small diameter base on it and a large pivot. I figured this one, since the pivot goes all the way out, or the base goes all the way out to the edges, probably be a lot more stable, and I really don't want to put a helmet model or a leg model that I've been working on for God knows how many days on top of something that's going to fall over the first time somebody bumps the table. I also might later on add some weight to this or screw this down to a piece of plywood. And let's get some holes in this thing and see how well it's going to hold the wigform. Always helps to have a old piece of plywood or something down on top of your workbench or work area for errant drill bits, screws, drop knives, drips of resin. Those things have a tendency to ruin pretty much whatever you're working on top of. Put the drill in. And see if we can do this without injuring ourselves. Word of warning, do not do this in your lap. From experience, do not do this in your lap. The screw has to come out the other side at some point. They're also very useful for holding the visor onto the model before you start adding clay. I use a few wood screws on either edge of the visor, and I'll just show you here. Say this is your dress form or wig form. If you put a screw above and below the visor edge on this side and above and below the visor edge on this side, take a piece of small thread, sewing thread, put your visor on, and just start wrapping the thread in between the 2 screw heads. Take a drill or a screwdriver and run the bits in until you get the visor bent to the shape you need it. Repeat it on this side. That holds the visor in place. You can sculpt over the top of it. The thread's flat enough that when you make the cast, it's not going to show up. Even if it does, it's in an area you're going to trim out. So when you take the clay off the model, pull your visor off, all you have to do is cut the strings, it comes off, you're not ruining a perfectly good visor. Another thing, painter's tape. Cover your visor inside and out with painter's tape. That will keep it from getting scratched during the sculpting process, and also keep the oil clay from having some kind of weird reaction with the coating of the visor itself. And 99% of the time, the painter's tape's not going to hurt the visor at all. One last hole here. then we'll see if this thing's going to work. Okay. And I will be back in 1 second after I go track down a wigform. Okay. Y'all recognize this from the last video. This is what I was doing my testing on. Just to show you. Okay, it's solid. As solid as you can get. The only time you have to worry is when you get about 20 pounds of clay on top of this thing and you try to pick it up by the base it's mounted to. Some more giant screws. And I put these in at angles so I don't have three screws going in the same exact angle, hitting each other, or while cutting a big hole through the styrofoam. The only thing you have to worry about if you're mounting your wigform to a flat surface like a piece of plywood like I have here, don't set it down on top of the table or a countertop or anything that could get scratched, because the screw heads are sticking to the bottom and they will tear up whatever you set it on. And this one is come out. There. Okay. No longer needed. Take a turntable. The wigform. How easy is that? Now when I'm sculpting a helmet, I don't have to worry so much about knocking it over, the kids knocking it over, or trying to turn it and the base falling off and me holding the helmet by the clay. As with anything crafted or anything that involves a person's artistic skill or mechanical skill, you can explain it all day in words. But until someone actually sees it and actually visually watches someone do it or puts their hand on it physically and does it themselves, it never really sinks in all the way. And me and another member had a really good conversation last night about that. And more people need to start expressing their ideas in video, because it's a lot more tactile visual aid. You can get your hands or your head wrapped around it more if you could see it in front of you. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, Private here. Have a good one.